This is exclusively a Dragon Ball Z podcast now.
Oh yeah, I have ads on this now. I got monetized. So.
Ah, congratulations. I
Check,
got
check.
demonetized on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, I made a video about Elon Musk, and within an hour, I was demonetized. I've been monetized for like 4 years.
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I've been shadow banned on there for sure.
They changed their algorithm up pretty heavily within like the last 2 years. So my stuff doesn't even go
I have
nearly as...
It's so much harder to catch traction, I feel like. I like during the pandemic, I was having videos that were getting like millions, and now like
Yep.
it's so fucking hard to get that now.
I was doing really well until like mid 2023. And then there was a big drop off, and that was when they changed their algorithm.
Yeah, a lot changed on TikTok. I used to do this Joe Biden impression with like a Snapchat like face swap, and a couple of them got really popular, and then one got like taken off, and I couldn't like dispute it, and then my reach just fucking tanked.
Yeah.
I was like, everything is like 30 views now when it was 100,000 before. That's insane. All right. I pull this up for the chat. Sometimes people want to say. Sometimes we get trolls. It's kind of fun.
Hell yeah. Love a good troll.
We sound good.
Yeah.
All right. We'll officially start recording. We're on YouTube already. All right. We are live. Josie Marcellino.
Yes.
You told me to pronounce it that way.
Yeah.
Because it's Marcellino?
Yes.
Okay.
See, you're doing great.
Are you Italian?
Yeah. My
Okay.
dad's parents are from Sicily.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
I don't know how long I've known you.
I think we officially met at Skankfest this past year.
Right, but I did see you at Kill Tony, and I followed you out the Creek and Cave open mic one night.
Oh.
Like, had to have been over 8 months ago.
Yeah. I haven't been here in a little while. Well, I was here last week, but like prior to
Yeah,
that.
you're all over the place. You're in like continents, like you're literally in like different parts of the world within like 7 hours. I'm like, how did...
Yeah.
Is there some new technology where you can like teleport? Like, what is this?
It's called a plane.
It's called a
It's an
plane. Who
airplane.
would have thought the Wright
Yeah.
brothers got it right?
Yeah.
That's
We share a birthday, me and Frank Lloyd Wright. Wait, no, that's not a Wright brother. I learned that recently. I thought Frank Lloyd Wright was one of the Wright brothers. He's just a fucking architect.
Wow.
And it's not. That's... Damn.
That's hilarious.
Well, we're starting off good.
Yeah, let's just get everything inaccurate.
Yeah.
And see if we get fact checked. Do they do fact checking on YouTube? I
I
think
mean,
only if it's
that
like...
depends on your fans.
I think it's if it's detrimental or not. Like if you're wrong about a person that invented something, or if you're talking about like the government. I think that like it depends.
I don't know. They leave conspiracy podcasts up, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because like some people say things that I know that would get you in trouble most of the time, and it stays up, and then other times someone says like one thing about COVID, and boom, they're off.
Yeah, I don't know. Does Bill Gates have a stake in YouTube? Is that
I think Bill Gates has a stake in everything.
probably? I'm not worried about him at all. He's the least of my worries.
Yeah, I mean, out of everyone that's like Bill Gates, like what does he ever? How is he realistically impacting our life? Like,
I mean, probably in big ways that we don't understand, but like I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about the other ones.
you worried about Elon and what is it, Neuralink?
I'm not worried about Neuralink
I'm
because
not either.
I dated a neuroscientist for 4 years.
Really?
And almost 5, and like he like a very big deal in the neuroscience community, like internationally recognized, and he knew people who worked at Neuralink. He knows what technologies are available. Elon Musk is decades away from even just the stuff that other labs have access to right now. Like
Yeah.
his big thing was that, like he made like an implant on a monkey and it was able to, like, that's been being done for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean,
He's-
I know he's like a controversial dude, but like even some of the shit that Alex Jones was saying like decades ago, like 20 years ago, it's kind of been proven. Like, yeah, they were like splicing humans with animals and all this shit. Like, they have done that.
Yeah.
But they were calling him like insane for it. I was like, yeah, because you conflate it with.
Well,
other things.
he. So the thing with Alex Jones is he gets like a little bit right, but then he gets so much wrong.
Yeah.
Like the whole gay frogs thing.
That's like scientifically accurate.
So that it's not in that they were not turning the frogs gay. They were turning the frogs transgender.
They were turning them into like hermaphrodites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
male frogs were growing, and fish were growing female sex organs, which is a problem. But then when you're just like, I don't like them putting chemicals in the water to burn the freaking frogs gay, it's like then you lose. You just have turned yourself into a caricature.
That's crazy. I remember I've never like met Alex Jones, but he almost ran me over like running into me at the Vulcan one night.
Hell yeah. Does he live out here?
He lives in Austin, yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's like been here forever. But so I was working security at Vulcan for, you know who Gavin McGinnis is?
Yeah.
So he was doing a show with Anthony Cumia, who's been like canceled from everything.
Yep.
And Josh Denny and who else was there? It was all like these like right wing like canceled comedians basically.
Cool.
So there you would expect the fan base. It was like, okay, it's a Proud Boys rally, fair enough. They're paying me a couple $100 to work the room. It's fine. So Gavin McGinnis is on stage and he's like talking about Alex Jones, and he's just like, he's about to say something. He's like, I could do an Alex Jones impression, but that's fucking hack. I'll do you one better. Alex, get up here. And I didn't even know he was there. And Alex runs by me, almost knocks me over, and runs on stage and takes his shirt off. And he's like, bah, bah, just going crazy.
Holy shit.
Like, this is insane.
He took his shirt off?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's built like a baked potato.
Yeah, I bet he is. That's worse than Kreischer taking his shirt off. That's.
Oh, my God.
Ooh.
Bert fucking Kreischer.
Does he live? No, he lives in L.A.
He's in L.A. for sure.
He lives in L.A., but he'd be out here.
A lot of the comics come out. Like, I don't know. Austin is definitely doing its best and trying to become like this comedy hub mecca deal. But it's weird because like living here and then just being on like, you know, the surface level of seeing just the insane open mic world.
Yeah.
And then you hear Rogan talking about in his podcast. It's like those are two insanely different things. It's like talking about like New York City, about how great it is, but like you're homeless. It's like, yeah, New York City is a great city, but like it depends on what perspective and what experience you have there.
I think that Austin, like I like Austin. I would not live here.
I don't blame you.
I decided that last year. I was like so certain I was going to move to New York, and then decided to come down in Austin, check it out. I had a great week. I came down for the solar eclipse. And then that night,
was crazy.
It was awesome. And then that night, I got on Kill Tony, my first time ever signing up, and that was awesome. And then because of that, I got on Banana Phone and had a great time. I did the Creek open mic and had a great time. Like people were like, "Let me put you on this show." They put me on an all ladies show. They did a whole bunch of stuff, and it was great. And I was getting spots, and I was like, "We might have to move here."
Yeah.
So then me and my boyfriend spent a month here, we got an Airbnb and we were like, let's just check it out for a month. And I then slowly was like, oh, there's like not a lot of, there's more spots when you're coming in from out of town, but not if you're hanging out here.
I knew a comic that was secretly living here for like 2 months and just wouldn't tell anyone so he could just use that out of town clout.
That's funny.
So he's like, no, don't tell. He's like, actually, I live here, but don't say anything. I was like, Jesus, dude. I get it, though, because you get guest spots. People are like, oh, out of town. They accommodate to you. You get on stage.
Yep.
And then once they get used to you, I mean, then, like, figure it out yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm back on the New York train. I'm like, all right, that's where I'll go.
I thought about moving to New York, like, right before COVID, and then the world went crazy.
Yeah.
And then I came to Austin, came to Nashville, thought about moving to Nashville, and then got on Kill Tony, had a bunch of good sets here, and I was like, I'll just move to Austin.
It's not a bad idea. Like,
yeah,
I like it here, but I think New York is better for my style of comedy and also just my own personal growth. Like, I feel like out here, you have kind of the same audience.
For sure.
Whereas in New York, it's like, yeah, you're all right. Tonight you're performing for tourists from Kyrgyzstan, and they don't speak English. Have fun.
Right. Well, have you ever done stand-up in Vegas?
once. I mean, I've done Skankfest, but like
Okay.
actual true Vegas I've
Yeah.
done once.
So Vegas is like the biggest tourist city in the fucking world.
Yeah.
So like you get not just different audiences, you get different sections of audiences during the same crowd. So it's like there's 200 people here. These people are from Canada. These people are from Australia. These people are from Britain. These people are from New York. These people don't speak English. And it's just like you'll be crushing in pockets and then bombing in It's so weird. Like, 'cause it's not that like you're really they just don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. I just did comedy in Mexico City, and that went surprisingly well.
Nice.
I was shocked. It did. My best set of my life was in Costa Rica, but I just attributed that to like we're in the jungle and there's not a lot of entertainment.
That's crazy.
They're just stoked to see someone.
And was it like mostly like Americans or?
No, but it was all people that spoke English because I don't speak enough Spanish to do a set in Spanish. But then for Mexico, it was like I think a quarter of the room was American, but everybody spoke English. So,
Nice.
but it's like a lot of my set is about being, from a blue collar, like white trash area. I have specific references to things that like people would not know outside of the U.S. So
are you from like Philly, or that's just where you live now?
that's where I live. And that's where, whenever somebody asks me where I'm from, that's where I say, but I'm from a super small town in like rural northern Maryland, like right on the Mason-Dixon. And so, yeah, I grew up in just backwoods trash. And then moved to Baltimore after college, and then moved to Philly in 2022. And Philly swallows you up. Like I'm a Philly. I say I'm a Philly girl. Like I'm from there now.
How long have you been there?
3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never been to Philly.
I love it.
I've never been to New York or Philly. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah, I know. My family's from Minnesota. It's weird. I'm a Vikings fan, but I'm all Arizona sports besides the Vikings. Like people are always like, why the fuck? Why would I choose to be a Vikings fan with their insane history of being like the best, worst team ever? Like there's no team that has more playoff wins without a Super Bowl championship than the Vikings.
Oh no. That's
So,
heartbreaking.
yeah, my grandpa got me into them when I was a real like little kid, so that stuck. But yeah, I've been to Minnesota a lot. I just need to travel more. Like you're like all over the fucking world.
But I need to see, the problem with like when you travel internationally is you do kind of neglect the U.S. And there's so much of the U.S. I haven't seen, and it's because it's a massive country. I do want to see all 50 states. I want to experience that, even the ones that suck. I want to go to Iowa, but also like as comedy becomes more successful, there will be more opportunity to travel in the U.S. But yeah, I've been to 27 countries.
Have you been to, how many states have you been to?
21.
See, I don't know how many I've been to. It's not that much.
21.
I performed comedy in like 8, I think, which is so low for how long I've been doing stand-up.
How long have you been doing stand-up?
13 years. 2011. So this summer will be 14.
Hell yeah.
But I was in Arizona. I would go to L.A. all the time. I was real close to moving to L.A., but it was only like a 6-hour drive, so we would just go all the time. And it was so fucking expensive that I was just like, I could live in my car, like at the time in my 20s. Yeah, another thing, I don't get why comedians move to Austin to live in their car. I'm like,
that is fucking
you
crazy.
live in your fucking car, go to L.A. Like, what are you doing?
It's so, comparatively, like, it's so cheap out here that, like, if you're living in your fucking car, the only reason that people are doing it is because when you get on Kill Tony and you can go, I live in my car, then good things happen to you.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
oh, yeah.
I can't even say that for sure. Good things have happened to it. Like, I knew a girl, Trish Smart, who went on.
I know her,
and
yeah.
I love Trish. She does, like, routinely live in a van. She's very nomadic, but she had a great set on Kill Tony, and then she was like, I live in a van. And then she got some opportunities. Like, people saw that because, you know, she, did great, primarily because she did great. But then also people were like, oh, you do so well, you shouldn't just be living in a car. So, like, you know, good things started to play out. And now I think a lot of people assume that if they're just like, I live in my car, that they'll be the next, like, Hans Kim.
Oh, like, my God, yeah.
You're not you have to be good at stand-up before you can, like...
It can't just be all story. Have you ever seen anyone go on, like, American Idol and they just have a shit voice, but because they've had a rough life, they just get a carpet rolled out for them? That's just not the way it works.
Yeah. That'll work for a little bit, and then it doesn't anymore.
I'm trying to share this with everybody right now, so I'm paying attention.
No, you're good. I am also not... I'm not yawning I'm yawning because I woke up and I was like, this clock is wrong. It's not noon. And then it was.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to start waking up earlier.
I normally wake up decently early, but this was bad.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're getting done what needs to get done and you're making money and you're being relatively responsible, the whole getting up at 6 a.m. shit is overrated, I feel like.
I mean, especially with being a comedian, it's just not feasible because you're going to be out until 2 or 3, plenty of nights.
Right. And I go through these phases where I'm like, I have to get a fucking day job. You know, I still like do food delivery and stuff. But sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm making okay money with these shows stacked up. I'll be able to make rent. But then I want to get a job, and they want you to, like, go to work at, like, 7 a.m. And, like, it's good. It's a day job. I was like, yeah, but I need something that's, like, 9 to, like, 5 or something. I can't. 6 a.m. It's like I'm up until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I need my sleep. I need 6 hours of sleep at least.
Yeah. My job is 10 to 7, but it's on my computer.
There you go.
So it's like...
That's like a cheat code.
Yeah. No commute, can just roll over and not have any makeup on, and we're good to go. We're logged in and we're ready to work.
That's the best. I mean, has it always been like that, or did it, like, I know a lot of jobs during COVID became remote, and then they're like, it's just better this way, and they just stuck with it.
That's exactly what it was. And I didn't work for this company before. I wasn't in my role, and I didn't work for this company before COVID. This happened during COVID. I started working with them in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. Before COVID, I was a cam op. I did camera work for whatever came to Baltimore, D.C., or Philadelphia.
Yeah. You do costumes and stuff.
I do.
Like, I saw that this Halloween you hit a couple of snags.
Yeah, this year. So I, for the last 9 years, I've done a costume a day for the entire month of October, which is insane.
And then you do, like, a really good job, too.
Thank
It's not
you.
like some cheap shit. It's just like, it looks like it takes, like, hours.
It does. It takes a lot of my time and thousands of dollars. And, yeah. So, but I do that. And it's insane. You shouldn't do that. And then this year, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it at all. And then I really kind of started to hit my stride. And I was like, nope, I'm going to be able to do all of it. And then I think I missed like 5 of them. But on the 26th, I had some personal stuff come up.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'm not in the mood to make costumes anymore because I'm depressed. So.
That's wild.
Yeah. So then I just finished out. I had like 1 banked at that point, and I was like, I'll just release that on Halloween, and it was a good one anyway. So I was like, that's perfect. That's what I'll do.
Yeah. Are you going to continue to do it, you think?
Not 31. 31's just, it's, with everything else going on in my life, it's too much of a commitment.
Yeah.
I will still do some. It just won't be that many.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah, just do. I mean, a dozen's enough. You know?
So I used to do like 13, and then I was like,
that makes sense. The 13 days of Halloween.
Yeah.
We all saw that ABC Family event.
Exactly.
13, 13. It's a good number.
And that was what I did. But then I was like, damn, wouldn't it be crazy if I did 31? I would never do that. And then I kept teasing that idea in my mind. I was like, that would be
Then it became
nuts.
permanent. That's crazy.
Yeah. I did it. Yeah, I did 31 the once, and I was like, I'll never do that again. And then the next year I was like, but I could. And so I did it again. And then I was like, I'll never do that again. And then I did it again, and I'm like, well, I guess I could. Like, it kept going.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
So this thing is being clunky right now for some reason.
Is it?
I mean, I get mostly audio listeners anyway.
It says warning.
Yeah.
What did we...
This is my first time using the iPhone camera, so it's weird because I'm using it from a different link. Like, you copy and paste a link, and then you open up a source and then paste it. So I think that's why it's kind of slow. It's not like a direct line in. So
I think it's fine.
yeah, we're good. We had 8 people in here.
Hi, people. I'm blind, so I can't see what they're saying.
Someone said, "Let's go Libya." Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
Someone knows I'm Libyan.
That rules. I can't believe I thought you were. I was like,
Everyone
he's
thinks
either
I'm Mexican.
or he's Native American. Because you're like, yeah, you live in Arizona, or you did.
And there's a lot of Mexicans and Native Americans in Arizona.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
Do you ever get approached and, like, spoken to in Spanish?
All the time.
Yeah.
One time, like 2 times in like a 3-day span, people got mad at me because I couldn't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
They were just
they assume they're like, well, your fucking mom didn't teach you Spanish?
Yeah, like some dude I didn't even, like, I'm a customer too, but, you know, sometimes out in public, someone's like, oh, do you know where this is? And, like, you'll be like, oh, you're just kind of talking. He was, like, asking for help. And I was just like, not only do I not work here, I can't understand you. Yeah. And then he got, like, mad that I couldn't speak Spanish. I was like, bro, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, I love that. I like it when people just get angry about shit like that.
Oh, my God.
Just assume shit and then get mad when it didn't work out.
Right. Are there, so Philadelphia, are there a lot of Mexicans there, or is it just?
No. Philly's mostly, I mean, you know, you have everything because it's a city.
Right.
It's primarily a black city.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like up in the Mid-Atlantic, I think we have more like Central American people. Like we have more El Salvadorians and Hondurans than we do Mexicans. It took me years of working in a restaurant to actually meet a Mexican.
Wow.
Everybody was Guatemalan, Honduran, or El Salvadorian. That's what it was, those 3.
There's so many Mexicans in Arizona, like they work at like the Chinese restaurants even. Like this.
Well, yeah, and that's, don't get me wrong. Unless it's like just the family owns that Chinese restaurant out where I live, it's like, yeah, the back is going to be Hispanic people.
Of course, yeah.
But like it took literally, I think, like 10 years before I actually met a legit Mexican and not just people that were being called Mexican by other people.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So Maryland, not a lot of Mexicans. Philly, not a lot of Mexicans.
Yeah, it's mostly the 3, and a couple Nicaraguans, but more of the I forget the name, but those 3 countries, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, have like a union agreement thing where you can kind of go in between the 3 countries if you're part of one of them, like the UK almost, but they are independent nations.
I mean, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, kind of like, I don't know, the United States is so big, it feels like different countries to me.
It is, basically, yeah.
Like, I mean, just based on the weather alone, but people and culture, too.
For sure.
Dramatically different.
Yeah, 100%.
What's your favorite place to perform, you think? Or the best experiences on average? Because, I mean, we all have, like, one-off great shows somewhere, but where do you think consistently, like...
I mean, I've done the most shows in Philly and Maryland, so it's hard to say, you know, if one place is better than there, just because, like, I've done most shows there, so I've had all of my best nights in those areas, and I've had all of my worst nights in those areas.
Yeah.
Austin is good. Boston was really fun. Boston was really, really nice.
Another place I have not been.
It's good. They were but it's similar to the Philly vibe where it's like just kind of, you know, people who are a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, yeah.
Looking for, you know, someone to kind of talk shit to them. So that's fun. That's very much my vibe.
Oh, yeah.
I had a good set. I had good sets. Florida, I did really well.
Mm-hmm.
I've done Orlando and Tampa, and those went well. I don't know that Miami would be great for me. How about you?
I mean, so I do really well in these small cities here in Texas.
Mm.
Like Austin is hit or miss. Like if you know what you're doing and the crowd is there to laugh. I've reached the point now of like it's a comedy club type setting and they're ready to laugh. I mean, crowds vary, but I'll usually do well if that's the case. Like everything is set up and just ready for, you know, they're ready to laugh and have fun. But I do, like, mainly when I headline, I don't headline clubs. I headline breweries and bars, and those can be challenging. But for some reason, like, I would say like right-leaning, just like blue-collar, like white people in these weird little towns. I crush in those rooms. I don't know why, but those people like me the most.
That rules.
Yeah, it's like I told you, a woman passed out during my set the other day.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Like medical emergency. Like I didn't want to say. Like I was like, it kind of derailed my set for a little bit.
No shit.
Yeah,
you almost lost an audience member.
Yeah, because I was like, I literally, the first thing I was going to say was just like, well, she's dead or something fucked up. But I was just like, what if she is dead? Like, what if they have to call an ambulance? What if she's beloved by the community? And I just and, you know, I felt like that. They were all military people, all right-leaning. I feel like that if I said something fucked up and she was actually in serious, like, danger, that it would come off as bad. So I tried to, like, you know, navigate around it, and then eventually she was okay, and I got the light, and I was able to do my closer and get out of there. I was like, oh, God.
But, you know, she's fine, and you're here, and it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. I know people. Do you know who Brad Upton is?
No.
So I don't know if it still stands, but you know Dry Bar Comedy?
Yeah.
So he had, like, the #1 Dry Bar Comedy video ever, which was the most viewed stand-up clip, I guess. It was something insane, like 152 million views or something wild.
Oh, God.
This was like 5 years ago. And he's in his 60s, has been doing comedy for like 45 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me a story how a woman died in the crowd one time. And he made the jokes that I didn't make. He's like, oh, I guess like the hack thing that anyone would say is like, I guess I really did kill or something. He said that, and she actually died.
That's fucking nuts.
I know. He said it was on a cruise ship. It was just an old woman.
Oh,
he said that he was like, she was like laying there not moving, and he was kind of like roasting her for like, oh my, that fucking boring that you fell asleep, blah, blah, blah. And then said something, I guess I killed, and then she really was dead.
That's fucking, oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, people die all the time, but during a comedy set seems like a crazy fucking way to go.
No, I think that's a good way to go. I saw my first person and my second person die within 24 hours of each other. And that was scary. I didn't like that.
Posted about that.
I did. I put him on my Instagram story. The first one was I was flying from Boston back to Philly.
Yeah.
And it was a Frontier flight.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which dying on a Frontier flight is crazy.
What's worse, Frontier or Spirit?
Frontier.
Yeah.
Frontier makes Spirit look like the fucking Four Seasons. It's crazy. And so I was in the back of the plane, second to last row. And I'm the window. There's somebody in the middle. There's a lady on the aisle seat. And then we're like descending. We're like 20 minutes away from landing. And I have my headphones in. I'm listening to a podcast. And all of a sudden I hear this really weird noise. And it sounded like somebody like gargling almost. Like it was just like a weird like gagging kind of choking. So I look over and this lady is like actively seizing and making these crazy noises. And then the flight attendants just very quickly get on and they're like, do we have a doctor on board?
Yeah.
Which like, it's a Frontier flight.
Yeah, no.
Like these people don't even have health insurance.
Like, do we have a pilot on board?
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no doctors are flying Frontier.
Yeah.
But so one lady was like, "I'm a nurse," and she comes back and like rushes over, looks at this lady, like feels her neck. She goes, "Oh fuck, she's got no pulse." I heard that very clearly.
Yeah.
And then they pick her up and like lay her on the floor, like right behind us where the flight attendants are, and they're doing chest compressions on her until we land. But they let all of us get off before her, which I think that's because they knew she was dead.
Yeah.
And like if she was like just actively still like being saved, I think they would have taken her off first.
Right.
But they let us all off, so I was like, that's a bad sign. And then me and a few other people were like watching from the window to see what happened. And when they brought her off, there was a sheet over her, so we were like, oh, shit.
And
so,
she was like elderly?
No, she was like in her 40s maybe.
Jesus.
And like they were asking, I feel bad because there was nobody with her, so it was like they were asking me and the guy beside us like if we were traveling and if she like took anything, and I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. And then the next day, I had left my car at my parents' house in Maryland because the last time I left my car in Philly and then went out of town, my car got shot. So I try to leave my car at my parents' house when I'm not going to be there for a few days.
Right.
So I had left my car at my parents'. I was in Philly, and it was Sunday, and I was like, I'm going to go to church. And so then I walked, but it's a 45-minute walk, and then I walked back. The majority of that walk is not through a bad area, but the last little bit is. I was still in the good area, and I just hear a gunshot, and it's like, I'm like, that's fucking close. Like, I know what a gun sounds like when it goes off next to you, and that's what it sounded like. And then I turned, and there's a dude shot at the fucking stop sign that, like, I was just at, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I just started running, and then I was like, I still have, like, 10 minutes left of this walk. I'm probably safe now. But then a cop drove up and was like, did you see anything? And I was like, I saw a dead guy. And they're like, did you see, like, did you see which way the guy went? And I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, well, he's still out here, so be careful. And then just drove off. And I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Not only did I just snitch, but you left me here for another 10-minute walk.
Good Lord.
Cool.
Yeah, I've never seen someone shot before.
I didn't watch them get shot, but I saw the aftermath.
But, right. It's kind of like when you drive by like a car accident that just had happened.
Yeah.
And the cops aren't even there yet, and everything's kind of just still settling in. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That reminds me, we get a lot of Amber Alerts in Texas.
Oh.
Like, a lot.
I bet.
Like, I used to even do a bit about how I'm going to start a fucking Amber Alert fantasy league, and we're going to take a draft for what make and model and shit. But one night here, I got something. I don't even know what it's called. It was called like a murderer alert or something. Because
there's no color for that?
Dude, it was just like murder suspect at large, last seen, and it gave you like a map. And I clicked it, and it was like 700 feet away.
That's fucking crazy.
And it was like black male, early 20s, 5'6", muscular build, considered armed and dangerous. Do not like approach if you see him and shit. And I was just thinking, I was like, they just like named like 50% of my neighbors right now, like, but yeah. And then later on, they sent something saying that they got him, but
damn, that's fucking scary.
Yeah. But I was thinking too, I'm just like, I know that some of the people that saw that, they saw that and looked at like, damn, Darnell's wilding again, like. And they're like, what do they mean don't approach him? He owes me $20. Like, I'm going to go get that shit. Like, but
it's weird for Austin to have a hood.
Austin is so, I mean, I hate saying it's weird because that's their slogan, so it just feels like cliche to be like, it's so weird, but it really is because, like, it's very liberal, but all you have to do is drive, like, 20 minutes in any direction, and it's just like, oh, there's a bunch of Republicans, and, like, you'll even see, like, MAGA shit. Like,
yeah. I don't like you're homeless. I don't like Austin's homeless at all. They're aggressive. They'll come up to you. I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Why? The other day I had to move. So I had a show downtown, and I parked underneath this bridge where there's free, even though I did get a fucking parking ticket there the other day for the first time ever. Usually it's free, no issues. Mm-hmm. And this dude, like, startled the fuck out of me. I'm, like, parked. I'm, like, grabbing my merchandise. I have these stickers. I'm looking, and I just look over, and I'm like, what? And this dude's standing right at my window like this, just staring at me. And he starts giving me, like, the money signal. And I'm like, dude, it's free parking. Like, plus, you don't fucking work here, dude. You're not. Like, there's these homeless people that pretend to be, like, parking lot attendants, and they just, like, get money. I think their whole hustle is, like, if you don't pay me, I'm going to be the one to fuck up your car when you leave. So sometimes you have to pay them, but I was in, like, a rush and in, like, not the best mood. And I was like, I don't got anything, bro. And he, like, got mad and, like, threw his hands up and starts cussing and, like, walking around in circles. So I, like, left and had to go to another parking lot and park because I'm just like, what do you want? I'm not going to leave my car here now after that. Like, what if he fucks it up or does something? He will. Yeah, exactly.
That's, yeah, I don't like you're homeless.
No, there's some famous ones. Like, every comedian has, like, a joke about the chick who wears the diaper. I don't know if you've seen her.
I've seen a lady in a tutu.
Yeah, I've seen her. There's a woman. I mean, this is mean to say, but she kind of looks like Sid from Toy Story. Like, that's
actually a very nice descriptor for a homeless lady that's been living on the streets in a diaper.
She is topless in a diaper, though. So you see her breasts as she walks around. Sometimes she just decides to sit in the middle of an intersection, too. I've seen her do this numerous times.
She's just diaper? She's like Tommy Pickles?
Yes, Tommy Pickles. Diaper, no top, and, like, patches of hair. Like, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's... And,
How are her tits?
not nice. I mean, fine for homeless, I guess.
Okay.
But,
She's a big lady?
no.
Small lady.
Smaller lady, yeah. There's another lady, a big lady, who is naked pretty often, too. But she's so, this is disgusting to say, like.
Say it.
She's so big that her belly covers her private. So I'm like, yeah.
That's fine
She's
then.
naked, but you can't see anything because it's just overhang.
Yeah. She's got God's covering.
Yeah.
She is her own clothes.
And
That's fine.
She comes walking by like, I mean, I'm not going to run a bit, but I used to do a bit about, not her, but first mothership sign up ever, maybe the second one. There's like 200 comics lined up, and this homeless dude is just like jackpot. So he just walks and asks every single comic for money. Like, you got money? No, you got money? And then finally someone told him, oh, this is a line for Joe Rogan's new comedy club. And then I swear to God, like 10 minutes later, that homeless dude, and I'm not talking like lives in his car homeless, I'm talking like fentanyl junkie that lives on the street is signing up for the open mic.
Fuck yeah, he did.
I hope he got on and crushed.
I hope he got on so bad.
Yeah, but I was just like,
and that guy was Casey Rocket.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I've done a bit about it, and I changed the punchline to whatever comic that, and it's such an insider joke. Like the comedians laugh, but sometimes the audience is like, I don't know who that is, but like
that's so fun.
Yeah.
Damn.
There's a few comics that started off homeless and are like open micers now.
Who? Drop names.
Ben Williams, I believe.
I don't know.
He's been on Kill Tony like 4 times, and one time he got on like 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, and I don't think he's homeless now, but he was like
homeless.
Homeless, yeah. Because I mean, if you're just like lazy and you live in your car and you're going after your dream,
that's
yeah,
different.
Technically you're homeless, but that's not the same as a crackhead that
you have a car.
Yeah, you have a fucking car. Exactly. Yeah, I couldn't do it though. Like, I mean, I don't have the best place, but I live alone.
That's great.
You know how many comics? I don't get it. Like, there's so many comedians I know that are like in their 40s and they have multiple roommates.
Yeah, I'm 29 and I have 2. Well, now technically just 1, but there will be a second.
Yeah.
Roommates, but we each have our own floors of the house.
That's great.
So we really don't ever see each other, and that's fine. But if I went back to a situation where I was like sharing a bathroom with somebody, I couldn't do that. I'd have to be dating them.
Yeah. Well, that's the hard thing is just like I've yelled about it on stage. I've said a lot of. I mean, this is people, but a lot of comics don't have good hygiene. It's not a secret.
No.
And
it's horrible.
When I live with you, I can't deal with that shit.
Yeah.
Pun intended, I guess. I mean. So I've had roommates before over the years. One time a really good comedian friend of mine, we're good now, but we had like I don't think we talked to each other for 6 months after we had like a big argument about living together and, certain things.
Yeah.
And we go off air again. This thing is.
Are we off air? Hello.
We might be. Mike Ivey was just commenting. He's a comic here in Austin. He said he met Ben Williams straight off the bus.
Hey.
I mean, we're still recording at least.
Yeah. It says live.
We're back. I got to figure this out. I'm sorry that this is not a better setup.
Chat? Yeah, no, you're good.
The chat is okay, we're good.
Cool.
All right.
It's just your iPad.
My iPad is just being lame. Yep, we're back.
Cool. Hey.
Boom. So, when do you head back to where's the next stop, I should say?
Oaxaca, Mexico. And I leave at 7 a.m.
Oaxaca, Mexico, 7 a.m. Are you doing shows or?
Yeah, I have some shows coming up in Oaxaca next week. And then after that, I'm going to hit up Tulum. And then next Wednesday, I'll be back home. So just about a week more.
And then you're moving to New York, right?
Not until like May, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a couple more months in Philly.
That's cool. I need to get out there. Like, I've never been.
You do. I'll show you around Philly. It's the best.
I've had, over the years, there's like comics who I've met who've started there or lived there, and several of them are like, you would do great out there, or they say that my style would work out there.
Yeah, it's such a fun place.
Yeah. It's wild. I have so many friends from there. I've just never been there. Like,
well, a lot of the friends now live here.
Yeah.
A lot of my buddies from Philly have made the exodus to Austin.
I feel like Florida and Pennsylvania, like those two states, are 50% of Austin comedy.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
That makes 100% sense because Shane moved out here. And so all the Pennsylvania people who were like, I could be Shane Gillis, moved out here. And or they're friends of Shane, and Shane helped move them out. Or they saw Cam Patterson become famous for saying, I like rocks. And then they were like, I could move out there and be the next Cam Patterson on Kill Tony.
100%.
So, yeah. That's exactly what Austin is.
Dude, really, Austin is such like I don't know, it's a mix and match of everything. Like, it's like the lowest entry level open micers, which I'm not disparaging. Everyone starts somewhere.
Y'all suck. Quit.
Well, I mean, fair enough, but I'm saying like
I disparage the open micers now, not to cut you off, but because they see overnight successes on social media, now everybody's like, if I could just get on a show and act crazy, I could be the next big thing.
That's like why I don't even enjoy hanging out at Kill Tony half the time, because I'm just like,
they're not comics.
They're not fucking comics. It's like you're trying to like fast track your way to win the lottery at the hardest thing in the fucking world. Like, bomb for 7 years like the rest of us and figure it out. Like, what do you, I mean.
You have to suck for a little while.
Yeah, and there's no set path. There's exceptions. There's weird, like, this happened to me. I met this guy. I know people that were making a full-blown living off of comedy within a few years. I know other people that are really good and they're 20 years in and they still have a day job and they still have, you know, there's no set thing. But when I see people that have put in no work and they're not funny and they're just trying to become famous, it's fucking irritating.
Yeah. Fuck you, open micers.
I mean, like, I don't know. I battle with it because I try to have empathy and be nice and just understand. But this new culture with the internet of just trying to go viral and trying to get famous with no talent and no body of work is not it.
Yeah,
like,
that's why I do like I'm kind of a dick to some of the newer Philly comedians. But it is just because it's like, okay, none of you have jokes. You're just doing crowd work. And it's not even good crowd work. You're just trying to get a clip to go viral online so that you could be the next big thing, but that's not how it works.
People do this shit that I hate, and I call it fishing, where they just go up there and they fish for something in the audience, where they're just like, so what do you do? What do you wear? And I'm just like, if you're good at crowd work, that's one thing. But when that's all you ever do.
Yeah. Well, but even like, no, because, I mean, some of my best friends in comedy who are very successful, they do a ton of crowd work, but they do also have jokes.
Right.
So it's, you know. Yeah, it's
just what I understand why though, is because you don't want to burn your good material in reels and on clips and shit. So
no, for sure. And that's why, like, people tell me all the time, they're like, you need to post more stand up, and I'm like, no. Yeah. I don't want to burn it.
So I have on this YouTube, someone filmed my set at the Velveeta Room. Have you ever done Velveeta Room?
Yeah, I like Velveeta Room.
When that room is hot, it's my favorite room. Some dude, my buddies were in town from Arizona, and they had like a real film audio guy. I guess he used to work for the History Channel. He had like this elaborate setup, and he filmed my set, and I didn't think about it. And then he sent it to me. It's like fucking like, I'm not saying it's a comedy special, but it has cuts to the audience, all kinds of shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
I posted that as members only on here, so it's not just out there. So like the dozen members I have or whatever on here that pay monthly can watch it.
That's cool.
So I'm like, there you go. But I'm not going to just have that out there.
I've had people, like, if I've done like a bar show or something, I've had people like record part of my set and then put it up, and I'm like, hey, can you not do that? That'd be cool.
That's the worst. People still to this day do that shit all the fucking time. Yeah. Where I'm on stage and I see someone with the camera and I'm just like, sometimes I don't even say anything until afterward. I go up to him and be like, if you were recording that, can you delete it?
Yeah.
Like, because I've done it before where I've addressed them and then it, like, it can be fun, and if you're good, you can like make it hilarious. But sometimes I'm having like a great set, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking ruin this moment, so I'm just gonna continue, and then afterward, politely ask them to delete it.
Did you see Natalie Cuomo's Crash Out?
No.
Oh, a beautiful piece of media. So, do you know who Natalie Cuomo is?
I know the name.
So she lives in New York. She's a New York comic. She dated.
Oh yes, the chick who freaked out. Like,
yeah,
look at me.
Look at me in my fucking eyes.
What the fuck was that?
I know. Well, she's a very nice girl. Like, I've met her. She's very sweet. She's not good at stand up. And then she just had like a fucking crash out. I guess she was trying to do crowd work and it didn't work.
The
and
most
then she
annoying aspect of that whole thing, and I get it, they're there for her, but the crowd just like cheering that shit. I'm just like, what are you guys talking about? Like, that was so fucking cringe and just unprofessional and just like unhinged.
Well, she dated a famous comedian, got some of his fans.
Yeah.
Because, she was kind of in that world. And then she posed nude on a motorcycle magazine and she had decent tits. Mm-hmm. And so I think now when she does stuff, she kind of has some simps that sort of follow her around.
Right.
And I think that's what she was getting there.
How long has she been doing comedy?
Not long. A couple of years, I think.
Good Lord.
And she's like married to another comedian who's better than her, but is not great.
Yeah. I mean, I see that a lot. I mean, I don't know. You can sometimes see when there's a comics in a relationship and then they start to get funny. I'm like, oh, he's writing for her. I've seen that a lot.
For sure.
It's like you just don't unless there's something in his DNA that that changes your ability to write jokes. Like, I don't know. Like,
I mean, I do think that there's something to be said about like sometimes you get a little funny off osmosis. Like, if you're just around a bunch of very funny people, you will start to kind of.
You need to be around funny people.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
And then you'll kind of pick that up. But like, that happens all the time. There was a comedian out in Philly who was dating a lady, and I could pinpoint exactly when they got together and when they broke up based on her sets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Because she just fell off very quickly.
I mean, some people can get good, though. Like, being 13 years in, I saw people that used to just constantly bomb. I'm not even talking about, like, oh, you see a little bit of, like, sometimes you can see the potential in people, but I'm talking like they were a guaranteed bad set, no matter if the crowd was hot or if it was a shit dive bar open mic. But then after like 6 or 7 years, they're like good.
Well, yeah.
Like, and I didn't early on. I just thought if someone sucked, like, yeah, everyone gets better. But I'm talking people they would never have a good set, and now they're like a good comic.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice when that happens.
Yeah,
I like to see people improve. But if you're an open micer in Philadelphia, you need to stop.
Oh my!
You need to quit.
I think Austin might be like ground zero for the cesspool of like low-level open micers who have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
That's again because people move here and they're like, I'm gonna get on Kill Tony and I'm gonna suck my own dick and that's gonna make me famous.
Kill Tony for all that it offers, and like it's a great show.
I love it.
It's a great show, but it attracts some of the craziest, just like just delusional people. Is the way to put it.
Anything that has that much reach that's open to the public will.
Yeah. I mean, I get, so I've had this theory. I was like, when is someone going to go and like try to like attack Tony or something? There's been a couple.
It's happened.
Well, one dude, I guess, was trying to run in through the back and got arrested just like a couple months ago.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He was like trying to go in through the back and the door was locked and they went around and saw him and he literally got arrested.
I saw an episode where there was this was like very, very old, a guy, I think they were still at the Comedy Store maybe when this happened, but they had Jeremiah playing
Watkins,
sax, and this guy came up and was like on mushrooms and he like didn't have a set. And he was just like, I'm on drugs or something. And then, like, Jeremiah started making fun of him. And this guy, like, tried to attack him. And then Big J had to, like, grab the dude. And they pulled him off.
I think that might have been Vegas.
It may
That
have
might have
been.
been Skankfest.
No, I don't think. I don't think it was Skankfest, but it was the Legion of Skanks that were the
Okay,
panelists.
maybe that's what it was. But I think I saw that before, actually.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. It hasn't happened more, honestly.
They just have good security where they are. That's
Like the mothership has like armed guards and cops and a bunch of fucking MMA fighters just like everywhere.
So that shit's not gonna happen. And it's with the comics and stuff. Like they take our everything when we get on stage or before we go on stage.
Oh
you
yeah,
know that. Like they take our phones and they pat you down.
They wand you down. They pat you down.
Yeah.
And which they need to. I get it, 100%.
Yeah. Otherwise, somebody would fucking Bud Dwyer up there.
Someone would pull a Joker. Have you seen the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix and Robert De Niro?
No.
You've never seen that movie?
No.
You know of it though, right?
I know of it. Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, I mean, the Joker, Robert De Niro is like the late night show, like king of late night television, and Joker rises from the ashes of being a nobody and is on the show as a comedian. And pulls out a gun and kills Robert De Niro on national TV in front of everybody.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Pretty
oh,
insane.
Shit. Yeah. That
I
would
mean,
be...
spoiler alert from a movie from 2019. My bad, but...
I just watched The Sixth Sense, so I'm a little behind.
My God.
I'm getting there.
That movie got spoiled for me when it was new.
It didn't for me.
So you didn't know.
I didn't know the twist.
So
I thought the twist was that the little boy was going to be dead.
Okay.
Because I'd heard people go, he was dead the whole time. And I'm like, this little boy is dead? That's crazy. It doesn't even make sense. He's interacting with people. But no, it was the other one.
So someone called in on a radio show. Like when I lived in Arizona, I was really young. That movie was fucking, 99 or some shit. So I was like a kid. And someone called on the radio show and then just said the ending. And then they hung up on the call. And this is when the movie was in the theater. So
oh my God.
He ruined it for like the radio hosts and everything and everyone listening. And I was like, what the fuck? So like I knew. And I didn't even see the movie for like 4 years after that. And I never forgot that was the ending. I was like, fucking bullshit.
That sucks.
Okay, some guys asking if you know about ICP or Juggalos and about Gathering of the Juggalos.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course I do.
Hell yeah. They're so like connected with like Legion of the Skanks.
Yeah,
and all
Legion
that.
of Skanks is essentially just Juggalos without makeup.
They've admitted that a lot of their model has been inspired by Gathering of the Juggalos. And
that rules. And then last year, ICP was at Skankfest.
So it's weird. So I used to be into ICP like when I was real fucking young, and I hadn't seen them in concert since like 2004. And then I went to the Gathering of the Juggalos.
I want to go
this
so
past
bad.
year, and I got to perform comedy.
Oh, that's cool.
And,
so yeah, Big J was there.
Big J was there.
Zach Amico, and yeah.
And so I watched them perform there, and then like a month later, I'm at Skankfest. So I was like, I haven't seen ICP perform in 20 years. Now I've seen them twice in a month.
Yeah, that rules.
And that was such a corporate show for them. Like the Skankfest, that's the equivalent to like literally clean comedy.
Yeah.
For what they normally have. Like they couldn't spray Faygo or throw soda or anything.
Right, because they were indoors.
No, yeah. Well,
at a venue.
They don't give a fuck. Like indoors or outdoors, they always spray soda. But I guess they had like a $10 million like screen there, and they're just like, you're gonna ruin it with soda. You can't spray Faygo. Yeah, I want to like. So I only performed because I signed up for the talent show. So I wasn't like an official performer.
Oh, that's funny.
And I got like a 3rd place prize or some shit. I had to follow another comic who was clearly autistic, and you couldn't understand him, and he started getting booed and heckled off stage. So I was like, he got the opposite Kill Tony treatment. Like, he would have got a golden ticket on Kill Tony for having a speech impediment. The Juggalos were like, fuck you,
fuck
retard.
This guy.
They were like, yeah, they didn't care.
Damn.
Yeah, it was brutal. I was like, damn, they don't give a fuck.
That's wild. When I was 13, so I lived in like a really trashy area.
Yeah.
My best friend was dating this guy who's a big ICP fan. He has like a tattoo of like the Hatchet Man on his neck now. But when we were 13, he was like, this song just really reminds me of you. And it was their song Bitches.
Oh my God, with ODB.
And then like, there's a part in that song where it's just like, he's just like, I'm going to fucking choke you and you stupid bitch. I hate you.
Well,
how dare you?
The chorus is, girl, you know I love you, but now you've got to die.
Yeah.
Now you've got to die. Now you've got to die. Girl, you know I love you, but
She was
now
like, isn't this romantic? I'm like, no, we need to get you away from him.
that is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. That was the Amazing Jekyll Brothers from 1999.
So now, yeah, that's me and her. That's like one of our songs together.
If you listen to that song, like, so I guess ICP paid Old Dirty Bastard like $20,000 or something crazy, and he was just like drunk and high and just like freestyled a verse in open air, and they felt ripped off, and they just pieced it together, and it's just him like yelling and shit like, "Fuck you, Shaquita, fuck you,
Yes."
Patricia," and he's so it's a horrible verse. Like, I like Wu-Tang, but it's just like not a good verse. Like, it's just like clearly he was just drunk and did not give a fuck and just kind of like swindled them out of money.
I
Like,
love it. I think it's great.
yeah, no, it was awesome.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace, ODB.
I was just listening to him earlier. Got Your Money. That was my getting ready song.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have like a go-to get ready like playlist or anything?
No, it depends on the day, and I'll just
right.
I hit DJ on my Spotify, and it was like, Got Your Money by Old Dirty Bastard. I'm like, there we go. Okay.
That's fucking great. So, like, before you go on stage, are you one of those people that have to be like in the zone?
Yes.
Okay.
No, yes and no. Before I go to a show, I have a specific playlist that I listen to, and I run my set in my head, and then, you know, when I get there, I can hang out. I don't have to like rezone myself.
'Cause I know
before
some
I go
people
on.
that, and I get it. Like, I've been doing it so long, and I was never really like a crazy nervous person. But some people get like they can't talk to you before they go on stage. They're just like,
I'm not like that.
I'm like late to be on stage because I'm talking to someone. I have to run up and shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. But like, I know some people will get like, I'll feel like I feel bad because I'm like, oh shit, did I rattle you before your set? Like,
Yeah. I've seen people like that before, and I've messed with them a little bit, and I feel bad about that. But
that's why comedians are the most fascinating people on the fucking planet when it comes to doing comedy, because I've said this before on this podcast. Okay, they say, what are the two biggest fears of all time? Death is probably number one, and then public speaking. And then stand-up comedy is public speaking on fucking steroids.
yeah.
Because you're required to have real-time reaction of them liking you in the fucking moment. But comics bomb and eat shit and humiliate themselves all the time. How come more don't quit?
I don't know, but it's weird because
I think the high is so high of killing that when they get that, it's like being a drug addict. They're like, I'm going to keep chasing that no matter how much it ruins my life and how much I have to embarrass myself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one bomb is worth, or 100,000 bombs are worth one good set, in my opinion. Like, yeah, I would die 1,000 deaths just to have that one good moment, for sure. And that's a crazy way to look at life.
It's so crazy. Yeah, because the turnover in comedy is just like, because me and my buddy had this theory because like Kill Tony and just the open mic scene in Austin, like something's got to give, and he's like he works, I forget his job, but he knows about, like, he can identify bubbles, and he's like, this is going to burst at some point. I've seen this in so many different industries, and this is not sustainable, and when it explodes, it's going to crash and burn. But I'm like, I think the turnover isn't high enough, and for every 20 comics that quit, 30 are going to replace them.
Yep.
So I really don't see this ending anytime soon.
No, I think it's everything ends eventually, but not, I don't think this has a near expiration date.
No. Especially with the way Rogan is, how popular he is, and how popular Kill Tony is. Oh, another thing. So Joe Rogan is king of the world. He doesn't have to be on the street surface of knowing everything that's going on. But just in an episode last week, he's like, we have 2 open mics at the mothership. That's why it's like they canceled the second open mic in August.
Oh, damn.
They've only had a Monday open mic for 6-7 months now.
Jesus.
So I understand. Like, he has money coming out of his fucking ears, and he has so much going on. He's Joe fucking Rogan. But I was like, how has someone not told him that there's only one open mic now?
That is, why'd they cancel it? Just to make more
room
for showcases?
They canceled it right as football season started, and I guess that was the reason. Like, oh, football. But I'm just like, is that really the reason? But
but there's Monday night football, too.
Exactly.
So that doesn't make sense.
I don't know, but they've only had the one open mic since the very beginning of football season, which was like late August.
That's weird.
Have you done the open mic there?
No, I've signed up 100,000 times and I
Really?
never get pulled for it. Ever.
Damn.
I know.
That room is that's.
I'm going to sign up tonight if
Yes.
they even have. No, will they have one tonight?
They'll have it, but it's so fucking clusterfucked because there's going to be a sign up at like 3:30 or 4, I think.
Well, there's the sign up for Kill Tony, which starts at it's 3:15 to 4.
Okay.
And then I guess Mothership open mic is at 5:30.
5:30.
And then the second Kill Tony
sign up
is like 6.
Yeah, they used to do the shit where you could just sign up inside, where if you got pulled for the Mothership open mic, they'd have a clipboard in there, but they stopped doing that now. I don't know. It's just like, it's, yeah, I haven't done the open mic since like October, but I need to start signing up for it again.
You should. But I get it. It takes a lot of stamina to like.
Right, and I've done it so
be there
many
for
times.
5 hours.
I mean, it's a 3-minute set. I've done it so many times, and I've never been like called back or anything. So I'm just like, there's so much other comedy I've been doing. Mothership has been there not even 2 years. Like, so many people just bank on that being the end all be all.
Right.
That I've kind of just like refocused, my path, or I'm just not obsessed with that place anymore.
Well, that's good. That means that's when that'll come to you. Is like when you're not obsessed with it.
100%, because some comics are just like so, and I get it. And I'm just like, it's just be funny, write more, and go do stand up. Like the Mothership is there. It's been there since 2023. It's not gonna, I mean, it could potentially change your career, but it's getting funnier and working at this is the only real thing that's gonna happen.
Plus, do you want to get past there before you're really ready for it, or would you rather have the body of work and be ready for it and then get past? Like, some people try to circumvent the stuff, but it's like, no, actually, like, spending a lot of years on this thing is a very important part of it.
100%. Yeah, there's no, like, the whole cliche, it's a marathon, not a sprint, but there's a lot of people, like, when I started in 2011, like, so much has fucking changed because of social media. But I feel like people understood back then more that it takes years. And it's just like, now it's just, I understand because there's so many people that blow up on TikTok or blow up on Kill Tony and they figure it out. And there's very, very few, but there are some wild exceptions where someone is just a monster at 2 years. I've seen it happen. You're one in a fucking million.
Yeah, that's not for for most people.
Like, you know who Pablo Francisco is?
Yeah.
He started at the club. He's from Tucson, from where I'm from.
Gotcha.
And he started at Laughs in Tucson, where I started. And apparently he was, like, headlining after, like, 2 years. Like, he was just this unreal, just unusual talent. And when he blew up and was on Mad TV and had a Comedy Central special, he was, like, 6-7 years in. So he was one of those guys that was just like, he was, like, already naturally. He was a natural, and then he, made it.
Yeah. For most people, that is not the case.
No, that's so fucking rare. That's like, you're talking like an NBA player level. It's like, how many people play basketball? How many people go to the NBA? How many people are good right away in the NBA? That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
I think we're going to wrap up, though, because you got to get downtown and
yes.
sign up for all that madness. I mean, I don't envy it because I've done it so many times, and I'm going to Waco to watch Arizona play Baylor. So
you're going to have a more fun time.
Yeah. I mean, just embrace the homeless.
Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. I'm a little nervous, but it's going to be fun.
And it's kind of cold today. This is nothing compared to Philly, though.
No. Oh, my God. There's like several feet of snow on the ground in Philly.
Oh, my God. Here, people
Fuck that.
In Austin, when it gets like below 60, people are dressed like they're in fucking Moscow. I'm like, why do you have gloves and like a fucking beanie and a hoodie and a giant fur coat? I'm like, it's seriously 57 out. Calm down.
Yeah. But it's, I don't know, like coming from Mexico yesterday, I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like shivering at night. It was crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
But
where can people find you?
All of my social media is at Josie Marcellino. That's JosieMarcellino. And all of my dates and stuff get posted on there. So Hell
yeah. Well, thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure I'll see you again soon.
Yeah.
So I end every podcast by saying this. Until next time, kiddies, stay safe, stay healthy, don't be a bitch, and stay up.
I like that.